Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and it's time to talk about PSG. They're the biggest side in France and have dominated Ligue 1 for years, all the while unable to become the best team in Europe. They came close over the summer but were beaten by Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. For all their world class players, they haven't been able to get the job done in Europe, but how long will that be the case? Well, using Football Manager 2021, I'm going to try and find out and see what PSG look like in 5 years' time. My name's James and this is Paris Saint-Germain in 2026. Right, well, because this simulation was done a few good months back, Thomas Tuchel started the game as PSG boss, and in 2026, he's still there. There's been no sacking for the guy who now manages Chelsea, but the Ligue 1 dominance has just come to an end. They won their 8th title in a row in 2025, but 1 year later the run came to an end. A defeat on the final day against Marseille handed the title to Lyon, who got a draw to lift them a point above PSG. All the while, Tuchel has never reached another European Cup final. The PSG dominance has come to an end, so let's have a look at the team that couldn't beat Marseille on the final day, as well as who else is in the squad. In goal is Ionut Radu. PSG's number one goalkeeper in 2026 is Romanian Ionut Radu, who has just completed his second year in the French capital. He only cost £14.5 million from Roma, which isn't bad at all when you consider how good he's been. Radu's played 73 Ligue 1 games so far and kept 37 clean sheets, not conceding a goal every other game on average. He hasn't got much competition though, as their only other goalkeeper is Sergio Rico, who's still trying to banish the memory of his Fulham nightmare. Right back was Denzel Dumfries. Dutch defender Denzel Dumfries has just completed his first season in Paris, and I don't want to say it's his fault that they lost the title, but it's a little coincidental that they've come second as soon as he arrives. He cost £36.5 million from Arsenal, which is pretty expensive for a man who cost PSG their 9th title in a row. Okay, it wasn't his fault, but I don't really understand why he was playing anyway, as PSG have got Sergio Roberto sitting there as well, just collecting dust. He's on the transfer list though, with the only club interested being Sheffield United. Suppose that's better than being at Barcelona right now. Centre back was Marquinhos. While PSG have almost got a totally new back five here, there's at least one familiar face in the shape of Marquinhos. The Brazilian is Thomas Tuchel's vice captain and has been wonderfully consistent throughout the simulation. He's actually just enjoyed his best season yet, with an average rating of 7.38. Typical, his best season, and it's the one time they don't win the title. He was alongside Diego YEGROS. Marquinhos is part of the back by a regen and something of an attacking centre back. YEGROS scored PSG's only goal on the final day, while he also helped himself to 4 assists over the season. While it's been a disappointing year, YEGROS' development's been impressive, and he's already valued at £42 million, despite arriving for just $475,000 3 years ago. He's got competition at the back though, with new Liverpool signing Ozan Kabak sitting on the bench. Left back was James Justin. This is pretty surprising. I know he's been good, but I never thought I'd see him at PSG. Justin's only on loan in the French capital from Man City, but doesn't look like he was too impressive. Justin's contract at Man City is set to expire, and the fact that PSG don't want him permanently tells you all you need to know. In front of the defence was Rodri. Speaking of Manchester City, Rodri's another player who swapped the bleak and drizzly northwest for the sex appeal of Paris. Rodri's our most expensive signing so far, costing £49.5 million from City in 2022. He's proven to be fairly creative since heading to France, and he even got 12 assists in his first season there. Rodri's got competition to sit in front of the defence though, although so far he's winning the battle between himself and Ruben Neves, who left Wolves for £64 million, a deal that so far looks like an absolute waste of time. He can't score wonder goals if he's sitting on the bench, can he? Casemiro's there too, although he's not really contributing much either after his arrival on a free. Centre midfield was Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian was a man in demand before joining Leipzig last month, and on FM he's proven to be worth the hype. Szoboszlai has just completed his first season in Paris after a huge £96 million move, and he ended up being the most creative player in Ligue 1 with a huge 18 assists. PSG have got some impressive players, but Szoboszlai has already proven himself to be one of their best. Next up we've got Corentin Tolisso. The new names in midfield continue, and it's another expensive arrival. Corentin Tolisso cost around £70 million, returned to France for the first time since 2017. Tolisso's been excellent since joining PSG, and one day he hopes to be captain, although I think he'll have a hard job wrestling the armband of the bloke who currently has it. Right wing is Kylian Mbappe. Yes, Kylian Mbappe is still at PSG in 2026, and he's now the club captain at the age of 27. Mbappe is leading by example too, and is without a doubt the best player at the club by a country mile. Every season he's been sensational, even getting a season average of more than an 8 in 2025. Every season he scored at least 20 league goals, and that was no exception this year as he hit 24 to win the Golden Boot. On top of that, he brings home a massive 525 grand a week, which he probably spends on fast cars, big houses and gold tinted cereal. Left wing was Leon Bailly. While Mbappe is still at PSG, Neymar is no more, which means there's new blood down the left flank. In fact, Neymar actually left the club for absolutely nothing in 2025 to return to Brazil with Flamengo. Leon Bailly started the final game of the season on the left, but PSG's usual left winger is England star Jadon Sancho. Injury kept him out of the final game against Marseille, which might be the actual reason why they weren't able to secure a 9th title in a row. Sancho has been incredible since his £97 million move and is no doubt filling the void left by Neymar. And up front was Patrick KAAGMAN. PSG have got a regen leading the line, and a regen who is a goal machine. KAAGMAN's only 20 years old, but has already scored 53 goals after just 2 seasons in the first team. That's why he's the number 9, that's why he earns 300 grand a week, and that's why he's already valued at £79 million. And that's also why Odsonne Edouard just sits on the bench every week, having started just 2 league games for PSG since arriving a couple of years ago. Ah well, Odsonne, could have been worse. You could have followed Neil Lennon to Juventus. Christ, I'm still not over that. So there we go, that's PSG in 2026. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.